So hi everyone, here is another Berlin Wall video, and here is another topic that might draw your attention. If you're interested in this, if you ever done in-depth analysis and to investigate, because as the title says, we're talking about the Bornholmer straße border facilities that stood right on Böse Brücke that still exist nowadays. And so does the former S-Bahn. So does the Bromstrasse S-Bahn station. Okay, so before getting to the point, getting to the sticking point of this video, I will draw you the actual course of the wall in this very area to give you an idea. So this is a semi-blank map of Berlin. Of course, you can see colors. It is a satellite semi-blank. Let's pretend this is blank. It is not really blank, of course. You can see colors. You can see the Mower Park. Well, we'll get to it later. Yeah. But yeah, but I mean, I had a feeling that if I did show you a map with all the names of the roads, etc., it will make you more confused. So this map uh, just just works fine for explanations because it is good definition more or less, and it doesn't show you confusing names. So yeah, in a nutshell, without drawing on, it is okay for explanations. Yeah. So the wall stood exactly here. So is it Bornholmer straße, the Mower Park. You go here and went up until Pankow, etc. So more or less, I'm really bad at drawing. So yeah, so I might want to redraw it because I'm a person that wants to be precise because this is not bullshit video. So yeah, so it was the actual course of the wall in Bornholmer Böse Brücke border facilities. So here, the border didn't stood on the actual course, on the actual concrete wall, because the wall was, of course, more eastwards than the border stood, where the border stood. So the border was stood exactly west, just a few meters west of the former station. That during the division before the unification, this station was a gas one, so S-Bahn train drivers couldn't stop at this station, so it was a gas station. It was patrolled by border guards. All the area of the railroad, all the area of the railroad was a spare zone, so a restricted zone patrolled by soldiers. So anyone caught here would have been shot, whether they were Westerners or Easterners. So all this area. In fact, there was a case of a drug dealer, maybe, or a junkie, or a street artist that was caught here, and he was shot dead because he didn't realize, was confused. He didn't realize it was from the west. He didn't realize he invaded. He went past the borderline. So enough of that. So yeah, here on this very place on Bemstrasse, there was a watchtower. So overseeing all the railroad northwards, and yeah. So the wall stood exactly here. So yeah, here. These two, well, there are many tracks nowadays, but back then there were only two. Let's pretend there were only two tracks, okay? So these two tracks were on the east, but this didn't mean that this area was on the west, and no, this area was on the east. The houses were just right behind the border. Okay, so the wall here, for reasons of security, in order to prevent any escapee from going past the frontier, the wall here was 5 meters 60, so 2 meters higher than usual, because you got because here your chances of getting up on a train and jumping out and jumping westwards were slim but possible. So the GR government uh, decided to prevent this by erecting an even higher wall. So the wall here, and I will show you on the net, there are some pictures even made by Stasi, etc. That so decided to erect an even higher wall that stood at 5 meters 60. It was impossible to climb it. It was really impossible to climb it. Not even the highest ladder could help you go beyond the border. Not the border, but the actual front. I mean the main the main hurdle of the former frontier, because the even if you could, I mean, even if you could go past this outrageously, ridiculously high wall, which stood at 5 meters 60, I mean, you had to be lucky enough to run this way, and so yeah, how many meters? 50 meters without any border guards seeing you shooting at you. So it was quite challenging, and all the noise you would make. I mean, the ladder falling, you jumping, boom. Okay, so I mean, trying to escape from this place, it was a no. So it was a real challenge, and actually there were a few people that tried to escape here. Even one that this occurred in 1989, so 1 year or more. So actually 10, well, yeah, 11 months before the collapse of the wall, there was a person that, an escapee, that tried to escape here. He jumped on a train and he fell to his death because he probably hit his head, or and Grant Boston later found a ladder close by, nearby, so the understanding that he was an escapee. So, but now I'll show you the pictures, because it is so interesting that I have no words to describe how fascinating this very topic is. So here's a wonderful Stasi shot picture. Yeah, I don't know why the definition is not really nice here, but this is the Stasi Unterlagen Archive. So these pictures were taken from a helicopter, so before the collapse of the wall. As you can see, there is the so-called series of concrete slabs, and that was 5 meters 6 and 60. So that was 5 and 60 meters high. There were plenty of street lights. There were two watchtowers close by. So yeah, it was really challenging to escape this. And border facilities were quite serious. As you can see, there were yeah, many obstacles. You had, I mean, the road was narrow, and there were many gates blocking any potential escapee trying to escape. And that is the station that lied on the east. Now let's get to the point. The so-called Oberbaugebiete, literally the beyond construction zone, was any place that pretty much, so was any place beyond beyond the wall, the actual course of the wall, that stood on the east, which means that it was in between the border and the course of the wall. So, and you could tell this by the fact that some wall sections did some western wall sections, western side wall sections didn't have any graffiti on it, because if any street artist was found doodling, so covering the wall in graffiti in that very place, they would have Grant Boston would have shot him. So, and there were plenty of places where the so-called, excuse me, this is another part. This is taken. Excuse me. There were plenty of places like this that were restricted. So, as you can see, the actual border line was here. So that white line beyond the gas station of Bornholmer straße. And here is another curiosity. Bornholmer straße, Böse Brücke border facilities was the first border facilities to be open when the wall collapsed. So, and so this is at night before Panzersperren, so the so-called in German, the so-called in English, anti-tank obstacles were removed. So this is probably from the 60s, 70s, yeah? Or it might even be of the late 70s. So yeah, the border was right there, just before the road sign, that small pole. Okay, you can barely see it, but I can of course. And also close to the end of this französische sector, so end of the French sector. It's another better quality picture. So you can also spot the difference in you can also spot the difference in asphalt color. There was a small gate on the sidewalk. There are a few road signs that depict where the actual border stood. So yeah, Bornholmer straße, Böse Brücke, and this is nowadays. There is the border nowadays. Here's another map after I collapsed the wall. Okay. So here's a map of the very same day the wall collapsed. Die Bastion des Friedens in Deutschland. So the peace bastion in Germany, actually translated into English. This is from the 70s, early 70s. This is from the early 70s. They even made a movie about this. That is called Bornholmer film that I watched, and yeah, it's quite accurate. So yeah,